Jambo, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Kenya.
I would like to welcome David. Let's give David a round of applause.
For me, I grew up in Kenya, Nairobi, in one of the toughest slums in Kenya. Where I grew up, all we wanted to do as young boys was become a professional footballer. I got signed by a bank, Kenya Commercial Bank. When you hear it's a bank, you can think that we used to get paid fortune, which was not. We used to earn £4 a month. That was our salary. I ended up joining one of the biggest clubs in Kenya. I've played in the Africa Champions League. I've represented my country in under 17, under 19, under 20, under 21, under 23. Played with some great players when I was young who have played. John Obi Mikel, who's played here in the Premier League for Chelsea. But as life went on, life was not that easy, so I ended up joining a gang as well. So I was in a gang where we used to have machetes, carry guns, and I used to be the keeper. So what they used to do, they used to go and do the dirty work. They bring for me the equipment, I put for them. They pay me whatever they're paying me, and I didn't care what they used to do. Until one day when, in Kenya, some people know here, there's some places where if you're caught, they don't take you to the police station, they set your body alight. So that is what happened to one of my good friends. And at the same time, I was still playing football, not earning a lot of money. I was driving something called a matatu, which is like a bus here, but that was during part-time when I'm not training. And I remember one police officer who quite knew me very well, and he said to me, David, if you don't stop whatever you're doing, I'm either going to kill you myself, and he showed me his gun, or you're going to be killed just like your friend. And he said to me, the British Army are recruiting online. Go and apply something and do something better for your life. And that time, my dad had given up on me. I nearly killed my dad at one point where I said to him, because of the things he was telling me, don't do this, don't do that, don't this. And I thought that I knew better than him. So I said, I'm going to kill you if you keep on getting on my way. And I remember for 1 full month, my dad took a cab every single day, in the morning and evening, just because of me, because of the gang that I used to work with. 2006, when I applied for the British Army, he couldn't believe that I'm coming here. It was my first time ever getting a flight coming to Europe. Got to Heathrow, it was absolutely freezing. I can't forget that day. And I decided, okay, first time seeing snow. Let me try and get snow as a souvenir and put it in the bag. I'll show my friends one day when I go to Kenya. But I didn't realize it was going to melt within a few minutes. So I joined the British Army. I went to Iraq in 2007. And that time when we went to Iraq, that is the time my life started changing. I saw things, we did things that at times I could lock myself in the room and ask if it was really true. We left Iraq, went to Afghanistan in 2009, 2010. That was the worst in the history of British Army. I lost 12 members who died on my arms. Some of them stepping on IEDs. We are picking up body pieces, putting them in one bag because we never leave a man behind. Some people losing both legs, an arm, their private parts. And it was horrific. So I was driving a vehicle which is called a jackal vehicle. So it's open at the top, and we have one machine gun on my left-hand side, and we have the heaviest machine gun at the back. We got ambushed by almost 150 Talibans coming from all kinds of directions. My friend who had said he was bored, I tried looking for him, I couldn't see him. Little did I realize he was sleeping on the floor of the vehicle because he was scared. So I had to jump over there and fire rounds back so we could try and extract. I remember I fired almost over 2,000 rounds. But my boss said to me, I think it's dangerous if we stay here. So we had to call in the Americans to come and help us. We left the place. So I drove over something called an IED. It was a 4-chained IED. I ended up losing 2 people in that vehicle. For me, I can't remember anything. I just found myself in the UK at Birmingham Hospital. where all other soldiers are normally kept. And I woke up there, and the first thing that I woke up is I thought I was still in the war zone. So I started fighting with the nurses, asking them, I need my weapon to go back to the field because my friends are dying. And they calmed me down and told me that I'm in hospital. And that's when I realized, when I was looking down, I realized that I don't have a leg, my stomach was open, my groin was open, I had shrapnels next to the spine where they couldn't get into there because they would make me paralyzed, which I have them up to today. I fractured 8 vertebrae on the lower lumbar spine, double collarbone. They were all broken, shattered into pieces, and that was my lowest point. That time my daughter was really young. And I remember I stayed in hospital for quite some time, went home, and then I realized that I'm useless on this earth. I couldn't do anything. My life was just falling apart. I started having something called war post-traumatic stress disorder. So this is where you start thinking and dreaming about everyone who had passed away and everything that you were seeing there. And I nearly committed suicide twice myself. I remember I jumped onto the vehicle one day when everyone is asleep, and I drove to the motorway 160 miles an hour. And I remember the police boxing my car in Scotland. And that is the first time that people from Scotland knew who I was, because I used to be a semi-professional footballer there. They knew me, but they didn't actually know what I was going through. The second time I drank a whole bottle of gin with painkillers. I just wanted to end my life. That didn't work. I guess God was saying to me, I don't want you now in my house. You can stay there first. So now I went to Headley Court, don't have a leg. And one day my daughter walked in and she said to me, Dad, whatever you're going through, I still love you the way you are. And from that point I went to the mirror and I looked at myself and I said, if she can look at me that way, then I have to look at myself different. And one thing I came to realize about life, whether we are old, whether we are young, there are some things that we'll never escape from. That is pain and obstacles in life. And we can receive pain in all kinds of situations. Death in a family member, like the way I lost my dad, his death. Someone that I hadn't spoke to for more than 2 minutes on the phone since I came to this country. And his death, to me, was something positive. The way I am today is something positive, because when I had 2 legs, I didn't appreciate life. I didn't appreciate the things that you would have. The little small things, I used to take them for granted. But now I look at them like some things which are really big. And the reason why I say that is because my life is better now with 1 leg than 2 legs, is because I know each and every day counts in your life. Whether you have pain or you have obstacles, these are things that will always happen to us. But it's how we respond to them that really matters at the end of the day. I went to Kenya last year, and I didn't know how the public would take me. So this is a former footballer coming to Kenya. And my friend said to me, David, I brought him a pair of shoes from JD Sports, and he's just trainers, and I was taking to him in the morning, and he said to me, come to the radio station and share your story. And I managed to do something that I never knew I had in me. And that is why I keep on saying that my life is better now. I managed to change the perspective of so many Kenyans who look at people with disabilities as a problem. Yes, that is something that goes on, but it's not a disease that someone can catch. It is only something that you have to do something different than the other person who's got 2 legs. And I met so many wonderful people. I had phone calls from ministers. I don't know how they got my number, telling me about the amazing thing that I was doing. I went to schools, parents were calling me. And I remember my mom said one thing, and my mom said to me, David, I'm happy that you have 1 leg. And I said to my mom, why are you saying that you're happy? I'm your son that I have 1 leg. And she said, because you found a purpose in life. I would like to say thank you to Julius for something like this. It's just a blessing and an honor to be here. People who want to maybe show their kids or share them about my story, everything about me is online. I want to start a project in Kenya of helping people with disabilities in the rural areas.
It's good to see someone actually take a hold of what they're going through and then pick themselves up.
I wouldn't say that. To me, it's a blessing.
It's a blessing.
Everything that I've gone through and everything that I'm still going through, even with my PTSD, with my war post-traumatic stress disorder, going for all the treatments, it's a blessing to me.
Yeah.
Because it has made me realize how important life is.
Absolutely.
And how you can appreciate life. So many people go through so many things that they are hidden.
Yeah.
But when you become a voice of speaking, like me sharing my story, I'm sure there's someone somewhere will see the importance of that it's not only me who's going through this, then I have to do something about my life.
Yes.
So for me, it's a blessing. Everything that I'm going through and I've gone through is a blessing, and I thank God for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for heeding our call. Thank you for being here.
Jambo, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Kenya yetu hakuna matata.